We have a food system that's actually killing us.
We actually need to start thinking about our place again. And that's something that this place focuses on restoring. What has made an agricultural society for the past 10,000 years has been reduced to ash. And that's something for us to rebuild. Without the intimacy of human connection to the planet, we're really looking for trouble.
We have a food system that's actually killing us. We have a miserable diet. Obesity, diabetes, hypertension, they're all food. I mean, those are all caused by diet, and they're all preventable.
Agricultural practices over the past century have set nature aside and away, have set human nature aside and away for the sake of production. We are so far removed from every piece of food that we eat that it's really hard to get a personal relationship to it.
We need to get more regional. We need to stop this idea of scaling up ideas. Scale down.
We actually need to start thinking about our place again. And that's something that this place focuses on restoring.
I mean, at some point long ago, someone looked out into a field and realized that that cabbage out there wasn't going to last forever. And so we needed to preserve food in order to do that. And so initially there was like true necessity as far as keeping our species alive. And then they realized that it was just like delicious jubilation with every bite. And there, flavor really forms and culture forms.
We've known that preservation has been there traditionally since before agriculture. What we thought was waste, which is a very human concept, is actually an incredible opportunity for new creativity, new flavor, new nutrition.
The culinary traditions of the past were steeped in place in a different way. They're steeped in culture and heritage. Looking at preservation as transformation, as change, became the vector for us to look at how we can understand what is possible in the future through the lens and prism of the past. By having a chef in residence program here at Stone Barns, we are creating a platform for other voices to come in to our kitchen.
I like to think of preservation more of like a reverence of that cultural past, but also using that as a catalyst to do things in a new way going forward. So I was born and raised in Taos, New Mexico. We grew up pretty poor in my grandfather's mud house at the Pueblo, and so my relationship to food was very poor and very small. It was like Lunchables and peanut butter and jellies, and that was kind of it. There was this one moment that I remember my mom showing me that my grandfather used to eat the wild rose petals. And I don't know why, but I was so jazzed on that idea, and because it was so mind-blowing that food grows on plants just in the wild. I worked in like crazy fine dining restaurants for 7 years. I was a little disenchanted with that world and was ready to come back home. So now it's kind of like bridging those two worlds. The Orno that I built is made of clay bricks from the land that I live on. The food is being cooked in the clay from back home, and that flavor is actually really present.
Through Johnny's cooking and his holistic approach from digging the clay to making the plates to putting the food on the plates and honoring tradition, Johnny has really shown us the sort of full spectrum. At Stone Barns, on a daily basis, we try and think of the property and our community and the landscape really holistically. We're trying to model an intact food system.
The fact that everything has a service, everything has a purpose.
It's really important for people to learn the language of the environment. I actually know about 200, 300 bird species by sound. When I come out, I can hear what bird species are calling. I can get a sense of what they're doing, what stage of life they're in. Birds are an important source of natural insect control. So by fostering healthy bird populations, we control the amount of flies on the cattle and the garden pests in the garden without using pesticides. And that takes a lot of fly pressure off of our cattle, which means healthier cattle, which means better meat.
The way we raise meat today in this country is wholly inefficient. And I think when we do eat meat, we cannot center it with a honking piece of protein on the plate because the costs of producing that are too great. So if I'm 2050, I'm eating vegetables and grains like every other cuisine and culture around the world has centered on their plate for 10,000 years.
One of the biggest things we can do at Stone Barns to change our food system, both regionally and hopefully globally, is to educate and inform a whole generation of farmers to farm this way.
It's about opening this space up to be a training ground, an experimentation ground, an R&D ground for others who are making change in the food system.
In 2050, I imagine that through healthy soil, we can have healthy seeds, we can have healthy plants, we have healthy animals, then we can feed people healthy food. If we can teach people how to grow food in this way, how to raise animals like this, then how to preserve our food, how to preserve our seeds, that is our quest to inform the next generation of how to go about creating a healthy food environment by 2050.
What I hope is that many people have the capacity to create real relationship with the lands around them.
That's where we need to go, and that truly is the ticket to a more delicious food future.